Well, good evening, everybody. It's me, Mitch. How are you? Good to be back. Get it? Ha! Oh, can I have a rim shot, please? How y'all doing? Get rid of the music here. There we go. Well, happy Tuesday night, everybody. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, tell me so. If the volume sounds okay or I'm too loud or too low, let me know. I appreciate it. Oh, it looks like we got people piling in here. It's always gratifying. I was wondering after my little Monday morning thing if anybody still loved me after that one. Got to tell you, I loved the comments. You guys were great. I totally surprised me. I, I must have been very intimidating on Monday morning because, believe it or not, I had hundreds of comments on that video, and not one of them, not a single one of them was stupid or from anybody that anything that I wouldn't like. I was very, very surprised. Although I did lose a handful of subscribers over that, which is always an interesting thing to see. I try to be an equal opportunity offender. I try to have a little something in these things that I do to offend, everybody. And usually I hit all the bases, but you guys were great, and I really appreciated the comments. So many of you said that was the best one yet, and I don't know where those things come from. It's passion. I certainly mean everything I say, and I know that most of you feel the same things when you look around at what's happening, when you watch TV, watch the news, all that kind of stuff. I know that you want to be out there shouting it. It's not politically correct to talk about that stuff. I try to keep politics out of these things completely, but it's very hard. And I did let that one little comment when I was talking about the deep fakes, and I mentioned Joe Biden's name, and when I did it, I knew. I said, "Oh God, I'm going to piss off some people with that one." But it's hard. It's hard not to be yourself. It's hard when you're doing this kind of thing and you're making videos, and especially when you're doing a live stream like this, to be mindful of every word that you say and fearful that you might hurt somebody's feelings. And as I get further into this and as I do more and more of it, I care less. I can't play act. I can't put on a different Mitch than who I really am. And I think, I'm not an angry guy. I'm not, I don't need anger management classes. When I go on a rant, you may think that my blood pressure is way up there, but it's really not. It's just the way I deliver those things to whoever I happen to be ranting at, to let them know that the things I'm saying, I deeply, deeply believe to be true. And I'm trying to illustrate the absolute absurdity. And you can't do that if you're reading it like a script, and like so many of these anchors on TV, and not inject some of your personality into it. So I had a good time. Viking, Trump does eat meat. Yeah, you guys say I can't get away from the politics. But I'm like most of you, I'm very fearful about the future if we don't change course and really get our priorities in order. And it didn't help me on Monday that I went outside and recorded that thing right after I did my income taxes. And the absurdity of me living on Social Security and making a small amount of extra money from YouTube and Amazon, which doesn't amount to much at all, means that in my income taxes, I have to take that income, which is 1099. I have to fill out a Schedule C. I have to report as a small business, and I have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes, which is about 15% on any of it's that's left after I deduct what expenses I had. And I sit here and I say, you know, I get by month to month and I make enough to live comfortably on, but you all, if you've followed me for any length of time, you know that I've had a checkered financial past and don't have a big retirement like so many people my age. I'm happy. I don't care. But when I have to pay income tax on the little bit of money that I earn, and I earn some money doing website design and development and graphics, and I do that through my daughter's company, so she pays me on a W-2 and withholds taxes from me, so I don't have to come out of my pocket to pay those taxes, but it's not a lot of money. And then I add to it the Medicare and Social Security taxes on what little side gig income that I make from YouTube. And then I hear on the news that our government's giving, you know, like $800 billion to Ukraine and giving every illegal immigrant in New York City a debit card with $10,000 on it, coming out of that tax money that this old guy who's killing himself these days to make ends meet has to pay taxes. And right after I got done doing those taxes, and fortunately the amount that was withheld from my daughter's company paid, so I do have a very small refund coming. I didn't have to actually come out of pocket, but the fact that I had to pay taxes and the places where they're spending that money by the hundreds of billions of dollars, money we don't have, it torques me off. And that kind of set the mood for that whole thing. So I don't know if I'm going to be in that kind of a mood every Monday morning, but I certainly was last Monday. And I just kind of let it go. And then I decided after I did that, that was the second rant that you guys saw, because the first rant I didn't think was suitable for public consumption. So I actually started over and recorded the whole thing a second time. And I did that a couple weeks ago too, and I never let it out. I don't want that to be the side of me that people see. I want you all to see the successful carnivore who got healthy and fixed everything and is trying to show you how to do it and help you out over the hurdles, show you some recipes and some of the fun part of it, because it is fun for me. It is fun. If this YouTube thing ever got that aggravating, why would I do it? Anyway, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. The only things I talk about, both in my videos and on the live streams here, are my experiences, my experiments on myself and the results of those and how I do it. And just show you some of the ways that I do it, whether it's shopping, cooking, exercising, whatever. And it's up to you to be like me or not. But I don't want people to think that I'm telling you how to interpret your blood tests. So that out of the way, let me say hello to some people here. Wow, it's been warm down here in Florida. I actually had to turn the air conditioner down. With all these lights, it was very warm here in my office / studio. Well, who we got here? We got Coco. Coco came in early, way before we started, 6:33. hour and a half before we started. Said hello. How you doing, Coco? My buddy Drone Shots is always here early. Jody, how you doing? Naruto Kun, hi everyone. Mark C is here. Hi, Mark. Donna Couture, good to see you. Hello, Cranky Pants. Yeah, that's me. And who is this? Tina Schwickerath. I think that's how it's pronounced. Hi, Mitch, looking forward to your live. Well, I'm glad to be live. Thank you. And Marlo, hi, Mitch, hello to all just in time. Large burger with 3 egg yolks, delicious. That's what I had. I had ground beef for dinner. I actually took a break from bacon and eggs today and made myself some chicken wings in the air fryer. And they came out great, and that's what I ate. I had a pound of burger for dinner, and I really like those vacuum-packed 1 pound packages that you get at Sam's and Costco. I got these at Sam's Club. It's that they call it grass-fed. Who knows what that means? Organic. Who knows what that means? Whatever. It's really good ground beef. It's got a nice texture. Doesn't have a lot of hard gristle or any bone chopped up in it like some of the cheaper ground beef does. And it's $5 a pound. And I found that $4 a pound is where the cheaper ground beef usually falls. So for an extra buck for a meal, I think I can be a sport, and it's worth it. And that I just cook it up in a frying pan. Came out great. And that was my eating for the day. And I allow myself to have a cup of decaf when I do the live streams because I like to, it's what I do. And since I don't smoke cigars in the house, unless I want to do a live stream outside, you don't have to put up with my cigar. But you do know that I do get some perverse pleasure out of being in some people's face with that thing, knowing how much they disapprove. Sometimes, sometimes that just feels good to have people disapprove. Oh, you're talking to each other. Marlo and Donna are talking. Donna is doing okay. And here we have Eat Meat, Health for Life. How you doing? And he says, hello, my meat mafia friends. Can't wait for your rant tonight, Mitch. I don't think I'm going to be ranting much tonight. I think that one on Monday was enough. And what's really interesting, I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. Let me let you in here to a little bit of what goes on backstage on, let's see, where is it? This. Okay. This is the analytics for my Monday rant. It says the video's gotten 2,705 views, and that's where most of my videos fall, between 2,000 on the low end to 3,000 or 4,000 on the high end, and occasionally one of them, for some reason, YouTube decides to push it, because unless YouTube pushes it, that's pretty much what I'm going to get on a video. Some of them have gotten over 100,000 views. A lot of them are 80, 70. Most of those were earlier videos. And I can tell you from my own experience that all of us across the carnivore and keto landscape, all of us are seeing less and less traffic. I hate to say it because I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. I think that there is something afoot. I think there is something that has slowed down a lot of us. I see even the big guys, I see their view counts on a lot of their videos. Just, for example, Sean Baker, who's got 300,000 subscribers. That is 12 times the number of subscribers that I get. Gets 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 views on his videos. Now, if he's got 12 times the subs that I have, he should get 12 times the 2 to 3 or 4,000 that I get, but he's not. It's happening across the board. We have to just make up our mind. Do we want to continue? Do we want to put up with this? Is it still worth it? But what I wanted to show you here, just so you know, is this video had, and you can see right where I'm circling, 357 watch hours. I have a net loss of 4 subscribers from it. That means that a net loss of 4 subscribers. You can see how with this little chart here, you can see how the subscriber count is going up 1, down 1, but nothing major. But I have a net loss of 4 subscribers that unsubscribed while they were watching this video. So these are some people, evidently, that I pissed off. And my income, the amount of money, the amount of ad revenue that YouTube paid me for my almost 3,000 views on this video was $11.48. So, just so you understand why the Amazon thing is so helpful to me, is because this is the kind of money that YouTube pays. And that's why everybody on YouTube, that even if they're not trying to make a living and they're just trying to cover their expenses, is having an awful hard time doing it just from the ad revenue. So I made $11.48 for this video. I had, I don't know, by the time I shot it twice, finished editing it, went through the upload process, I probably had 4 or 5 hours of time invested in this for $11.48. And I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just talking about the reality. So maybe when you see some of these smaller channels, and I'm at least out of the range of a small channel. I'm in a larger small channel now. But some of these people, especially the new people that come on and get 20 views, 100 views, 50 views, and they're not even monetized. They're doing it, trying to build up something. And it's why so many on YouTube just come and go. They just come and go. Anyway, that's a little look into the behind the curtain here, let's say. And who we got here? Marlo. Oh, you guys are talking to each other already. You're ignoring me. This is just the beginning. And Andrew H. is delivering Amazon. Andrew is an Amazon driver. And he's in the private community. And we got to meet Andrew last Thursday. He came on. Nice guy. Really, really enjoyed meeting him. And I'm hoping to see him a lot more in those Thursday night live streams. Oscar Rodriguez is here. How you doing? Coco says hello, Mitch. So she came back. Andrew H. T-Bone Bacon Fish. And Linda G. How you doing? And you guys are steady. You're regulars. The same names. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy. I know. I feel the love. I know that I'm not in a room full of haters. Robert Warrist is here. How you doing? Love that shot of your electronics. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool shot, and there's a reason why I do that 5-minute countdown. I know a lot of people don't like countdowns, but I'm doing it on my time. In case you hadn't noticed, I don't do it on your time. I start right at 8 o'clock. But that 5-minute countdown lets me make sure the stream is stabilized, everything's working, gives people a chance to not miss the beginning if they don't want to, because they do get the notification 5 minutes earlier when it goes live. I used to do a 20-minute countdown on my drone live streams because the guys like to get in there quick and start chatting with each other. So I gave them 20 minutes to do that. I keep thinking that on the replays, maybe I should edit the countdown out, but I don't know. It's always something to think about. Brenda says hi to Linda. Sandra McDonald. How you doing, Sandra McDonald? Morning all. Yes, she's in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. That's strange. That's strange. Eat meat. Health for life. It's Taco Tuesday, Parmesan cheese, taco shells with grass-fed beef filling and carnivore butter sauce instead of chips. I got my pork rinds. Well, that sounds very, very good. Liberacius, the Dave Brubeck of hey, Richard Williams. Williams is here from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Good evening to you. Did I say hi to Josephine yet? I don't know. Howdy, beautiful people. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I see way down at the bottom here. Oh, I got to go all the way to the bottom for this. I'll have to go back up and try to figure out where I was. Thank you so much, B. Matt. Always appreciate those things. Very nice of you. And I'm glad you like that morning rant. I It feels good. It feels good. I get a lot of people to think I'm going to have a stroke when I'm doing those things, but I'm not really excited or stressed out. I get on a roll, and I don't know where it comes from. It just starts coming out, and it's like blowing off steam. Sometimes, this stuff builds up. I live alone. I don't have anybody to talk to all day long, other than a microphone and a camera. And sometimes it feels good just to unload this stuff that does stress you out and is griping you. And I do that, and I do it on Monday morning, and as long as people keep watching it, I'll keep doing it. In fact, I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Like I said, I don't want you to think that that's the only side of me that there are, and we all have that side of us. We all have a side that, like I said in the opening of that, I don't suffer fools. I don't. I can't deal with fools and morons. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to debate them. I don't want to try to teach them anything. All they want to do is tell me what's wrong with me and why I'm wrong. And I don't have time for that anymore. When I was a little kid, my mother, had plenty of time to do that. I don't need a mother anymore. Okay, I don't know where I was in the chat. There's Richard Williams, Donna, Sandra. I want to say hi to somebody that I haven't said hi to yet. Tammy Pitarch is here. Hiya, Tammy. How you doing? Hey, Mr. Mitch. Mr. Mitch. It's like Consuelo from Family Guy. Mr. Peter. And we have Viking 442 from Tampa, Florida. Hey, wave at my daughter over there while you're at it. And here's Rosie. Hiya, Rosie. How you doing? Looking forward to my program tonight. That's great. I have no idea what that program is going to consist of, but we're doing it. We're doing it. And I did want to take 1 second and say, if you remember, if you were here with me last week, and I had technical difficulties. If you remember my technical difficulties, where my thing just kind of went blank, and I had to try to reconnect real fast, and I managed to get it done in a couple of minutes. Well, when I watched the replay, it caught me like this, and that's where I froze, looking like that, and that face stuck up there for like 2 minutes, and I'm watching a replay saying, come on, I didn't think it took me that long to get it back, and it did. I haven't really nailed down what caused that. I think it was a Google Chrome browser problem. So tonight I'm running the stream in Firefox, a different browser that I'm running all the other windows, which are running in Chrome. And I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, don't go away. Don't go away. The most I'll be gone is a minute. And what I do is I have my cell, worst comes to worst, I have my cell phone here. And I can take my cell phone, I can click right up here on StreamYard, and I can go right into the stream, and within 30 seconds or less, I'll be back live with you, but from my cell phone. So I have that as a backup. So if worst comes to worst, I won't be gone for long, but I did, and I don't know how many of you will actually be around if that happens in an hour, but just letting you know, hang in there. I know it's tough to when everything stops going, everybody wants to go away. Donna, thank you so much. Donna Couture. Am I saying that right? Couture? Let me know if I'm saying that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and you can't see it, but if you look if you saw it in your chat window, there's a number 1 and a heart in there. Thank you so much. It's nice to know somebody in this world still loves me. That's great. That's great. And Donna said, you're welcome. Yes, you are. I am saying it right. Good. Good. Thank you. Jeffy down there says, I can't perfect the chuck steak. You mean the one in the slow cooker? The secret to that is just let it cook all day. You know, you can't overcook it. Shred it up and heat it up. I don't know how you can screw it up unless you get a really bad piece of chuck. Anyway, Donna, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Where did I leave off? I get to a point where I'm saying hello to everybody that it's a half hour in and I lose track of where I stopped. So I'm going to go back to the regular chat and just glance it over real quick. If you actually have a question you want to ask me about something, make sure you make it stand out. Put question, the word question in caps, or a bunch of Q's in caps or something. So as I scroll by, I can see them. Just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at here. This is the center screen that's right in front of my face. This is where you can see it looks like an endless mirror. This is where I see what's going out over the stream. And over here on the side, right here, is where I have the chat. And I have the chat off to the side of that window. It shows up over here because this is what's going out on the stream, and I'm showing the whole monitor here. But so this is when I have to scroll through the chat. Sometimes I can't just stop talking and read all of it. I try to catch it on the way by. But if there were big Q's in there, it'll stand out. Another thing that stands out is if you put anybody's screen name in, like this is Scooby the dog. So if you wanted to talk to Scooby the dog, you wanted him to notice your chat, what you would do is at the bottom where you put in the chat, you would hit the @ sign. You hit the @ sign. Now you're not going to be able to see it on the screen. You hit the @ sign, and then you type the first 2 letters. So you would type @CSC, excuse me, if you wanted to direct a chat. If you want to direct something and make sure I see it, you want to type @OldGuyCarnivore, but you don't have to type out the whole Old Guy Carnivore. You can just type the @ sign, the O and the L, and a window will pop up. And in that window, you'll be able to click on my screen name, and then it will, like you see this big red, I'll see it with my name highlighted in red. If somebody puts your name in like that, you'll see it highlighted, I think, in yellow on yours. But since I've this is my stream, I get it to be in red. So these really stand out. Yeah, YouTube is not going to push you, old guy carnivore, which is a good thing. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. But these things, and Scooby does it, and it makes those posts stand out. So if you want to really try to get somebody's attention that you're talking to, even if it's not me, do that. At the first two letters of their screen name there, and you'll see most of the time with a small chat like this with a, that doesn't have thousands of viewers, you'll only get one choice come up. But sometimes you'll get 3 or 4 and you can up and down arrow through them. So that's just a little tip. Here, somebody tried it. Anita T did. Thanks for the info. Just figured this out from talking to at Carnivore Coder. Well, yeah, Carnivore Coder was joined the private community, and he was in our private chat on Thursday. We got to meet him too. This is great. And he kind of looks like I looked 40 years ago. How many years do I have on you? Was it 35, 40 years, something like that? But he's got the nice bald head, the nice beard. Yeah. Good looking guy. Drew Furstenberger says Scooby is a troll. Really? You think so? He's been around here for quite a while. And Carnivore Coder says, I'm a spry 42. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So listen, did you guys hear about that there was an eclipse yesterday? I'm not kidding. There was an eclipse yesterday. I didn't see it. I of course am joking. You know that it's amazing to me, never ceases to amaze me, how the media and everybody else plays up these things. I have never seen so much airtime, so many political speeches, so much nonsense devoted to an eclipse. It's neat. It's neat. I saw one, not a total, never seen a total eclipse, but I saw almost one once, and it was impressive. And I had that, been there, done that moment. I have no desire. I would have no desire to go out in a crowd of thousands of people, all wearing goofy-looking glasses, or risking their eyesight to try to see the moon pass between the Earth and the sun. And I know that it's neat. I understand how neat it is. But come on, folks. Is it really $8,000 a night in a bed and breakfast neat? Is it that neat? Because that's what some of these places that were in that band of totality were charging. Hotels and bed and breakfasts were charging ridiculous money for people. And if that wasn't enough, they made a kumbaya moment out of it. They made a kumbaya moment, a let's all just get along moment, because they were doing news articles about how this eclipse has brought our country together. The camaraderie, friendship, everybody put their differences aside. Kind of like the 4th of July. And that lasts 5 minutes, and then they go back to war again. It's nuts. It's nuts. But the big main event if you didn't notice, the big main event of the eclipse, the one singular, most important activity that happened in these throngs and crowds of people, eyes to the sky, with goofy glasses, was nonstop eating like there was no tomorrow. Everybody, every food truck on the planet was out there. Every convenience store was bought out down to the bare shelves. Every last ounce of junk food was being consumed during that eclipse. And in that respect, that eclipse did a lot of damage. Did a lot of damage to us. So I don't know if I'm just that jaded anymore and don't know how to celebrate anything, but I just tend to see absurdity in human behavior everywhere I turn. And I shouldn't have a right to say that, since I'm such a fool and a lunatic for just eating meat and not eating all of that other stuff and taking all those other tremendously beneficial drugs and pharmaceuticals that they're manufacturing just so I can have a better life. I should have worn my Sarcastic Society t-shirt tonight. I'm in one of those kind of moods. They made eclipse-shaped cookies for everybody to keep their sugar levels up. Oh yeah, junk food. But it was the $8,000 a night bed and breakfast that was the one that really took me. There's only one event where people exhibit a higher level of monumental stupidity is the Super Bowl. And these people, the kind of money that they spend to go to a Super Bowl and pay tens of thousands of dollars for a ticket and travel and everything. I don't know. You should be president of the Sarcastic Society. Yeah, I've held office in my lifetime. Oh, not real office. I mean, I was like the president of my Rotary Club at one point. I was the president of my homeowners association at one point. I was the president of my model airplane club. And in that respect, I guess I did hold office, and I got news for you. There wasn't enough money on the planet to get me to do that kind of stuff again. If you can imagine the conflict and the aggravation and the yelling and screaming that goes on at a model airplane club meeting, it just goes to show you that the people will always find something to disagree on and take sides. Politicians capitalize on that and divide us into groups on purpose so that they can pander to one group or the other, the one they think will give them the most votes, regardless of what they really think or believe. Super Bowl is the worst sporting event in all sporting events. Yeah, it's nuts. In the halftime show, my God, it's crazy. And the kind of money they spend on that, it. Usually a satanic base. Well, it seems like it's getting that way. Yeah, you're right. HOA president. Now I'm questioning my judgment. Yeah. Oh my God. My God. I didn't know that they had a name for those women, because they didn't call them Karens back then. But those women have been around a long time. And when I was a home builder, I lived in a big time community. I mean, full of multi-million-dollar houses, and I had basketball players, and the coach of the Orlando Magic lived right across the street from me, and I had all of these basketball players with billions of dollars that were living in there, and it was quite a gated community with big houses. I don't live now. I live in a trailer park, but back then I had I've told you about my checkered life. And I managed to become in charge of the homeowners association in there. We would have our meetings. And there were a lot of fabulously wealthy people living in that subdivision. There was a lot of doctors. I wonder how they let me live there, but there was doctors, probably because I built some of the houses, but there were doctors there, lawyers there, businessmen. I'm talking about people with serious money, and they were all married to trophy wives, and none of these women worked. Rosie, well, that's Donna. Who did I miss? I got Donna. I got BMAT. I saw Rosie come up here. Hold on a second. Let me find Rosie. God, I have to scroll through a whole different chat to get to. But Rosie, there it is, Rosie. Thank you so much. This will make Karen and Kevin very angry, so we'll prepare for another great Monday's rant. Oh, you know, Rosie, I'm going to have a meetup down here in Melbourne. I think I actually got I got a email from somebody that lives right near me here, goes to the same Costco I do, lives in the same city that I do. I need, I need to try to arrange a meetup for people to live within an hour of me here. And we need to get together at a barbecue place or something and just order, pounds of pulled pork and brisket and chicken wings and things like that, and have us a little feast and get to meet. I think I'll try to do that. That would be that'd be a lot of fun. And eat meat, heal for life. Thank you so much. More Mitch, more meat, more truth. Thank you. Wow. I have, I don't know, 26,800 some subscribers now. I don't know where the hell they all are, or who they are, but I have a base of a couple thousand of you guys that I just truly cherish. And I don't want to say I love you all, but in a fatherly sense or fraternal sense, yes, I do. And I so appreciate that. I so appreciate that group of people. It more than makes up for the miserable, petty people that are out there. And it's not just me. I've talked to a lot of YouTubers, and I talk behind the scenes to a lot of these YouTubers as well. And that's the subject we talk about the most. And the nicer they are, like Pete, if you remember Pete, the Primal Timeline, the nicer they are, the more they get hurt by these people who are just mean, and they don't accomplish anything. They just like to create misery wherever they go. And that's a subject that YouTubers will talk about when they get together, is how do you deal? How do you deal with these people without just saying, the hell with all of you, I'll see you later? It's the old Richard Nixon exit line. You won't have Richard Nixon to push around anymore, But it's a fact of life. It's a fact. It's a fact of life, and it's sad. It's sad because I think it's getting worse. I don't think it's getting any better as I get older. What was I talking about? I always never fails. I always lose my train of thought when I go off in another direction. Let me have a little bit of San Pellegrino out of a plastic bottle. Oh, I did want to take a second and talk about that. I haven't gotten a lot of views on that video I put out this afternoon, the one explaining Sous-vide. And the reason I made that video was I was getting a lot of comments, people asking questions about Sous-vide, and it dawned on me that I know there's a lot of people out there that have explained it, but I never explained it to people, exactly how it works and what an immersion circulator is and all that stuff. And So I put the video out to the private community yesterday, and I got, I don't know, 40 of them or so watched it, and I got a few comments, and then put it out at 2:30 this afternoon, and nothing. 100 or 200 comments in the first hour, and I mean, views. And I said, wow, what's wrong with this? So I went back, I made a new thumbnail for it and put a picture of a steak on the front. I figured, well, maybe instead of naming this video Sous-vide Explained, maybe a lot of people didn't know enough about what that is to even be curious. So I went and changed the title and said something like How to Cook the Perfect Steak, Sous-vide Explained, and then put the steak. And we'll see if that picks it up a little bit. But a lot of us have to do that. Sometimes you take a shot at a thumbnail or a title and it doesn't go anywhere. So go in, and that's why sometimes if you watch a video and you go back and you want to recommend it to somebody or find it again, you don't recognize it because it's got a different thumbnail on it. That's very common in YouTube. Is well, this didn't work. Let's try that now. So I did that, but that's my favorite way to cook a steak. I mean, I do videos about a lot of different ways to cook steaks. I cook them. I sear them first in a pan, put them in the oven with the digital thermometer in them. I cook them regularly in an air fryer. I cook them from frozen in an air fryer. But sous vide and then a quick sear in a hot pan is without a doubt, hands down, makes the best steak. The best steak. And it's so easy to do. It's almost no work and no mess. The big controversy always seems to arise out of the vacuum sealer bags with all of this plastics nonsense and panic about microplastics, PFAS, forever chemicals they call them. And there are thousands of those that have been identified. Chemicals that don't readily combine with other things and have humongously long half-lives, and they kind of last forever, hence the name forever chemicals. Like plastic plumbing pipe. We used to joke that in 500,000 years, when they dig up the remains of our civilization, they're just going to find a bunch of white plastic pipes sticking up out of the ground, because those things will not degrade. Nothing affects those PVC pipes. So Ken Berry did his video, and I talked about that last week, I think, about him warning about microplastics. I said on my last live stream, I refuse to worry about it, think about it. You can't avoid it anyway. It's everywhere. It's not, we don't know if it's killing people. We don't know what the body's doing with it. We don't know. It doesn't seem to be. I don't think it's caused any damage in me, and can I say I'm pushing 80? Don't forget my birthday in 4 weeks from tonight. May the 7th, live stream on Tuesday. My birthday falls on a Tuesday. I'm going to have my 77th birthday celebration, and I hope a lot of people will join me here, because double sevens is one of those birthdays that to me seems like a milestone. When I turned 60, didn't bother me. When I turned 70, really didn't bother me. 75, I said, holy shit, 3/4 of a century. But it's still, 80 is probably going to hit home. But 77, I thought, that's a Las Vegas sounding birthday. Double sevens, man. Just. So I'm going to celebrate it next Tuesday, and I hope you all join me. There won't be any cake, but maybe a picture of a cupcake with a candle in it or something. But I had this. I have to find it. It was the funniest damn thing. When I had my drone channel, I had my first anniversary of being on YouTube. And this was I started YouTube in 2018, and that was 6 years ago. And I had my first anniversary And it's still back there on my channel. And if somebody wants to go scrolling back far enough, you'll find the old guy's first anniversary live stream. And I made this picture, a cartoon of a baby, a 1-year-old baby, a cartoon of a baby sitting with its legs wrapped around a cupcake. And in the cupcake was one candle. And I took my old guy face, the one that's up on the wall there behind me, and photoshopped it on top of the baby. So the picture was of the baby with the one candle that looked like that old guy with the cigar in his mouth. Got a lot of laughs on that. So that might show up next week too. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I can dig it out. But we were talking about the plastics, and this, when you're sous videing, somehow it's gotten to be one of these things like red meat causes cancer. It's like deadly poisonous to sous vide a piece of meat in plastic. And I hadn't done a lot of research on it. And like so many other things, you tend to want to believe things you hear. So I said, well, it makes sense. Okay, So I went out and bought those silicone bags, and they work. But it really is easier to just take the steak out of the freezer already vacuum sealed in the bag, just throw it in the sous vide pot. And if you really want to get clever, you can salt it before you freeze it. And that way it'll be salted. You won't have to, if not, if you hadn't salted it yet, you salt it before you sear it off when you take it out of the sous vide bag. So then I saw that when I started looking at these new vacuum sealers, like that WeVac sealer that I demonstrated, and got great reception on that. And thank you so much for viewing that and watching it. And I'm using it, well, every time, I use it almost every day for something. It's a terrific machine, and I was tickled to death that they gave me one. And I think they actually sold a few already, so I hope they don't regret giving me one, but they're not getting it back. And that's, honest to God, the first time I've ever done any kind of a deal with any company selling anything. Most of the stuff, I think one Tuesday night what I'll do is I'll drag out all the old emails that I get from these companies pitching me on products that they want me to talk about on my YouTube channel, and you'll be rolling on the floor with the absurdity of some of these things approaching a carnivore channel. It'd be like a fake meat company wanting me to promote their products. But the sous vide bags, I started reading, I started researching. I found a number of interesting articles and publications, not only on the plastics part of it, but some of the safety rules when you do sous vide, because you are cooking at lower temperatures, and there are certain things that you shouldn't cook in sous vide. One of those is any food that has a cavity in the side, like a small game bird. I don't think you're going to be putting whole chickens in that thing. But it should be solid meat, whatever it is. It shouldn't. And they also recommend that you don't do ground beef or any ground meat for some reason. But you can do fish. It's great to do salmon. You take a piece of salmon, put it in a sous vide bag, put a couple of big pats of butter in the bag, okay? What's that? Marlo says, is it okay to use a regular vacuum sealer? Yes, it is. It is. And just make sure, and this is the point I'm trying to get at, make sure that you get a plastic bag that says BPA free. BPA. In case you don't know, and I doubt any of you can roll this one off the top of your head, bisphenol A is the name of the chemical. bisphenol, called bisphenol A. And that's the plastic that they started bitching about years and years ago because people were drinking out of all these water bottles. Now, these chemicals don't just come flying out of the plastic. They basically come out of the plastic when the plastic starts degrading. So one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't take a plastic water bottle, set it in your car, let it sit there for 2 months in the hot sun every day, and then drink the water out of it, because that water is going to be loaded with the plastics as the plastic bottle is degrading from the heat. But if you throw a steak or something in a any kind of a plastic bag and immediately throw it in the freezer, you're not going to get any chemical. Or whatever you might get is not going to hurt you, because it's a function of temperature and degradation. So they started making these bags without these chemicals in it, and it's almost difficult to find a bag made for vacuum sealing that still has those chemicals in it. And considering that when you do sous vide food in one of these plastic bags, you're never getting anywhere near the temperatures that you might if you put it in boiling water. Like when you buy these vegetables and microwavable foods that come in frozen in plastic, and you throw them in the microwave and they get to be hundreds of degrees. And the most that when I sous vide a steak, the most it gets 130, 128 degrees, whatever I have it set at. So if you use a BPA-free bag, which the WeVac bags, and most of them are now, and you're sous videing for a couple hours at 130 degrees or 140 degrees even, there's absolutely, from what I've read, no danger. It's not one of these panic things that everybody wants us to do. And the amazing thing is, they keep creating these panic things about the food we want to eat, but we never hear them put out warnings about what spinach will do to your body because of the incredible amount of oxalates you're going to be eating, or dark chocolate, or almonds. You don't hear warnings about that. You don't hear news articles about that, but you're going to hear articles about, plastics and about red meat and saturated. That's the propaganda. I'm convinced that our society is now 99% of the messaging is false propaganda, and maybe 1% of it is reality. I'm doing my part to stay in that narrow range. But I did get, because I used to say I don't want to use plastic because of, and I bought into that. I mean, I can't study everything, to do some research. So what I did, just in case I didn't say it in the video, but it's there in the description of the video that I put out today about explaining sous vide. There are 3 links, two articles. Some of them are incredibly technical and scientific about the laboratory testing they've done to see what it takes to, have a hazardous amount of these chemicals go. And then one of them is from Ireland, actually, and it talks about the safety of sous videing, so you don't get, because there is a danger if you don't do it right or do it too long, or that you could get some bacterial growth because you're not getting it hot enough to kill bacteria. So doing what we do, you never have to worry about that. But there's a whole paper, 3 or 4 pages long, about things to consider when you're doing sous vide. And that's where I read about the things you shouldn't cook. I would never intend, I would see no reason to make hamburger in a sous vide, but you can do chicken breasts for sure if you want. Chicken wings you can do. All you have to do is just sous vide recipes in Google, and that thing is so very versatile. You can take a chuck roast and throw it in there for a day or two at about 140, 145 degrees, and it will completely turn it into the texture of a ribeye, of a good ribeye. It's interesting, And, we're eating just meat. We don't want it to become boring. I think I saw another super chat. Yeah, eat meat, heal for life. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Did I see that one already? Or did I see another one go by? Let me see. Uh, no, I think it was for Rosie and then that one. Okay, I just want to make sure that acknowledge all of those because that's very nice of you. Very nice of you indeed. Now I have to find it again to get it off the screen. Scroll through the comments. Bear with me, guys. There it is. Thank you again. More Mitch, more meat, more truth. Yeah, I think I saw that before. At any rate, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. Thank you so much. So I'm down. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Here's a question from Tammy. Tammy says, see, I actually will notice them when I look at it. Question, Mitch, how many grams of protein do you eat daily? Well, you almost can't go, excuse me one second. Last little bit of cold coffee. I don't count grams of anything. I'm a caveman type of carnivore. I'm not, that's one of the reasons I've succeeded in this. I don't want to have to be a CPA or, an accountant to do carnivore. I measure the amount of food I eat by the pound, actually. And I try to find foods that have the correct protein to fat ratio. Bacon. You eat a half a pound of bacon, I don't care how many grams of protein it is. I know that the amount of fat and the amount of protein are right. And I know that if I eat 2 pounds of food a day, I'm not gaining or losing any weight. I'm feeling great. I'm never hungry. That seems to be the amount of food that I eat. So eggs, same thing with eggs. Eggs are the perfect ratio of fat to protein. High fat ground beef, greater than 80-20 or 70-30, and take the fat out of the pan and pour it back over the burger and try to eat that much fat. Eat fatty cuts of beef, ribeyes. Don't eat filet mignon, even though it's delicious. It's not fatty enough. You have to add fat to it. But trying to measure things and count grams of protein, I think it makes it more prone to error than just doing like a caveman would do. He knew he had to eat that animal, and he knew pretty much how big a chunk of that animal he needed to eat, and he did. And all the macros in there just kind of worked themselves out. And I found that by just trying to eat, and I have a narrow range of foods that I eat, I just try to make sure that everything I eat has an adequate amount of fat. And I like today, I had chicken wings today, so I cut up 8 big wings. There was probably 3/4 of a pound of chicken wings there, if not a pound. And with the skin on them and all, they're plenty fat. And then I had a pound of ground beef for dinner, and I was satisfied. So I know I had enough food because I'm not hungry. And that's how I do it. It's not scientific at all, but it seems to work. It seems to work for me. There's so many different people telling you so many different formulas for how much protein you should eat. Sometimes they talk about kilograms of body weight. Well, I don't know how many kilograms I weigh. I weigh myself in pounds. Some people say 1 gram per pound of body weight. But if you're working out and building muscle, then you might have to push it to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. And if you're A lighter frame, you might have to do zero point 0.8 grams. Well, who knows what's the right multiplier for you? So that's something I can't advise you. There's a lot of people out there giving that kind of advice. I know that I don't hear Ken Berry doing it. I don't hear Anthony Chafee doing it. And I don't hear Sean Baker talking about that kind of detail in what they eat. They basically give the same kind of advice, I believe, that I just said, is that just eat a couple of meals until you're satisfied. Make sure you're getting pretty close to the right ratio of fat to protein, and you should be all right. You should be all right. I hope that answered your question. Oh, this thing is scrolling by. Thanks, Mitch. Okay, I guess I did answer you. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Donna asked me a question. Donna says, if someone gives you a super chat of $10, how much does YouTube take out of it? They take 3 and they give me 7. Now, before, and I honestly, I'm not upset about that. I don't deny Google any money that they make doing what they're doing. And there's a reason why. They don't charge me anything to make my videos available on their platform. It's free. If I had to go to a TV station, let's say, and I wanted to do a talk show, somebody has to pay for that. That's why they have sponsors. Somebody has to buy the time because the studio has expenses. Well, Google, when you think of the amount of data, each one of my videos that I upload to Google is over a gigabyte of data or more. They have every video that I've ever made in the past 6 years still online on their servers. That, in big server farms, it costs a fortune to maintain. They don't charge us. They work on like a commission. And most people who do YouTube do it to make money. I don't make a lot of money, but most people who have larger channels and spend the years it takes to build them that big can make very nice incomes on YouTube. And YouTube takes its cut they take 30% of the super chats, of the money for the private communities, but they're not charging me. I don't have to pay them anything to have them broadcast my face to anybody that cares to watch me. And that's worth, in a commercial economy, where if I had to build my own servers, let's say, and install all the equipment and buy the internet bandwidth it would take. Can you imagine if I had the server that's serving this live stream up? I have 140 people connected to it now. None of you people are getting the circle of death on your screen or getting delays. The bandwidth required. Now, think about if you're like today, I watched the Atlas Heavy launch. They had 65,000 people watching it at the same time live. Think about the internet bandwidth that's necessary to get that much data real time out to 65,000 people, and the fact that Google and YouTube are not charging a penny to the people that put that live stream up. It's worth it. It's worth it. So I don't deny them that. I'm surprised they don't take half of it between you and me. That's why when you use eBay, they charge you 10%. Patreon, you've heard of Patreon. You know, Patreon is a way that YouTubers used to, a lot of them still do, where they it's like a private community where you pay them so much a month. And Patreon, I think, takes 10%. Um, most of them have to get paid. They have to get paid. YouTube doesn't have to charge us because with them, like with broadcast TV, they get to run ads. So it is what it is. I have I'm a little guy. I can't afford to host the equipment and have the internet bandwidth necessary to run a small YouTube channel. So I'm happy to let Google make their percentage. And considering that I'm not making thousands of dollars worth of super chats, they're not making much money on me anyway. I don't know. Maybe that's why they don't. Maybe that's why they don't push my stuff out there as hard as they really could. Let me look for some more questions since I actually found a couple. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. That was Donna. Yeah. Yep. I think in that case, Donna, they earn their share. They really do. PayPal. Marlo says PayPal takes a cut. PayPal, in case you didn't know, if you're a business and you invoice somebody or they pay you as a business, PayPal takes a cut. Usually 3.5%, like a credit card. But if you want to send somebody money with PayPal, they have a thing where you just click friends and family, and it's free. So it's, I find Zelle, Z-E-L-L-E, is the best way. But I'm sure there's a million other ones now that I don't know about. I don't receive or send a whole lot of money like that. Let me go down to the, somebody said somebody's a vegan troll. Where did I see that? I just saw that go by. I don't think, if we have a vegan troll in here, let me ask you, how many of your minds is that troll going to change? I think it's a waste of time. Yeah, Sandra says if I had a PayPal account, we could donate so you get the whole amount. You could. I have a PayPal account, but I just feel sleazy asking people to PayPal me. I honestly don't mind. I like a super chat because I like to acknowledge it. I like to show people who the nice people are, and it's nice, and everybody does it. Some people who do live streams, like Ken Berry, when they get 3,000-4,000 people on a live stream, if you can imagine how the chat rolls by, there's no way they can catch questions. So people know that if they want to get their question answered, they better. It's like the musician. You write the name of the song you want to hear on a $10 bill and hand it to him. That way he knows you want to hear that song. And that's what the super chats are in a lot of cases with Anthony Chafee and Ken Berry. They do these 2-3 hour long live streams every week. Well, Chafee does. Ken Berry has 3 or 4 live streams in his private community. And the one Monday night one where he has 3,000 to 4,000 people watching. And the only way anybody can get their question noticed is going to be with a super chat. So it shows up on their screen in big yellow. And I'll show you again. I mean, I have the way to show you what I'm looking at here. And I'm going to bring this screen up. This window that you see over here, this one where I'm moving the mouse, this is the monitor. You're looking at the whole monitor that's on the left of me. You're looking at this monitor right here. Okay? So this right here, this thing that you see in the center, is my broadcasting software. This is where I change scenes. I can do it with my mouse or I can do it with these push buttons I have. But if I want to show me right where my mouse is hovering, I click that button and it changes to me. The button next to it will change it back to that scene. So this is like does what those control rooms you see on the newscasts where all the people are sitting in front of all the buttons and sliders and monitors all over the place. It decides where I tell it what to put up on the screen. This particular scene has me down in the lower right-hand corner, sitting on top of all this stuff. And this is great if you're reading something to people or you're teaching a class or going over PowerPoints. So you set up a scene like this. It's really neat because, for example, I can take, look down, look at me in the right, the little me. Okay, now watch. I can fly. See? See ya. We can make these things look however we want. I can put me anywhere on that page. So what I'm telling you is that on that page, I have a window open here, a browser, and I'm actually looking at the stream in exactly the same way you're looking at it. This is just a separate browser. There's a delay in this because it's not live. It's about 5 or 6 seconds later. And I am able, up here in this version of the chat, to click something that says, right up here, top chat, live chat, or fan funding. And if I click fan funding, that only shows me anything where there's money involved. And that's how the Ken Burries and the Anthony Chaffees will do it, so that they don't miss anybody that's being generous and decides to give them money. How much whether that amount of income they make from that is, oh, there I go. I'm slipping up across the stream there. Boy, that delay is really late. Anyway, that's a little bit about how this works in the back end. I don't see my viewers dropping like flies, so maybe you find it interesting. Did I ever finish talking about the plastics? I think I finally concluded that it's a non-issue. So don't worry about sous vide in plastic. If I hadn't finished that thought, I'll finish it. I'll finish it right now. Let's see. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat and see what's happening recently. Any questions? Questions? You look like a chemical going through the sky. Bitch is floating. Yeah, you like that. I mean, I can do that. I can do that with this scene too. The magic of computers. It's fabulous. I mean, it's just fabulous. I've got a scene here where I can put myself in somebody's castle somewhere, and I mean, it's great. I can change and you've seen this before. I can change the backgrounds to put myself in front of, if I want to be in a fabulous kitchen. What's the other one here? Oh, this is nice. Look at this. Isn't that nice? That's the ballroom in my castle. And of course, my favorite thing that I don't do a lot, because way back when I started doing this live stream, I introduced you all to Spanky the monkey, who I love, Spank, and that's me, and the monkey is here. And Spank was my sidekick on the drone channel. And everybody just got the biggest kick out of this thing. So I said, well, yeah, maybe these people would get a kick out of the monkey sitting there beside me doing his thing. And I got chastised for it by a bunch of morons. Lose the monkey, they said. I mean, it demanded that I lose the monkey. And I actually, went, whoa, okay, no monkey. And I got rid of the monkey. But if you ever really turn me loose with this thing, it'd probably get a little silly. So maybe it's a good thing I don't do the monkey. But I used to have a Be Right Back screen because I used to do these 3, 4, 5 hour drone builds where I would build the whole drone and everything, and I'd have to take a break sometimes. So I had a Be Right Back screen like this, and it had a countdown timer on it, and I changed the text at the bottom, but it had some crazy scene like that. But that's what all these buttons and things do that I have here. Let me get back to you. I'm just wandering in no particular direction. Scooby says, question, kind of tangent, but brought my first cast iron skillet. Anyone have advice on how to season with tallow? Well, seasoning any cast iron, carbon steel, even stainless steel, because I don't like stainless steel, everything sticks to it, but you can season it, involves polymerizing some kind of fat. And unfortunately, it's unfortunately in a meaningless kind of way, but unfortunately, animal fats do not polymerize. Saturated fats don't polymerize, which means become plastic-like, anywhere near what the seed oils do. And I season either cast iron or carbon steel with grapeseed oil. I have gotten such grief for that. Honest to God, I am not eating the grapeseed oil. And if, considering the amount of seed oils each and every one of us has consumed over our lifetime, the gallons and gallons and gallons of that stuff that every French fry we ate was fried in, the canola oil that is part of every junk food, the soybean oil. The fact that if 1 or 2 grams of that soybean oil happens to get on the food that you cook after you've seasoned your pan, gets into your body, the absurdity of saying to somebody, you're not a real carnivore if you season your pans with grapeseed oil. Absurd. It's absurd. That is anal retentive. I don't know how else. What other level that I can extend it to that makes the point more than that? What happens is you heat up the pan. You heat the pan up, not red hot, but hot. What I do is I take a towel, a dish towel. I have a dedicated dish towel that I keep in a plastic bag along with a little squeeze bottle of grapeseed oil. And you just squirt a little squirt of grapeseed oil in that hot pan, and you take the dish towel and you just rub it around and you watch it. And as soon as it starts to smoke, shut the heat off and leave it sit on the hot burner as the burner cools down and let it cool completely. If it's a brand new pan, do that, repeat that step 3 or 4 times. And you will get an almost non-stick glass, not glassy, but polymerized, hard coating, similar to that stuff that polymerizes on your sheet pans from the oven that you can't get off without sandpaper. That stuff is so hard. You know the stuff I'm talking about. It's dark brown colored, and it's all over the bottom of your frying pans when you look at them, because some oil got there and ended up between the hot burner and your pan, and then polymerized itself and stuck to the metal, and it makes a nonstick coating. Now, the reason I'm not crazy about cast iron pans is most of them have an inner surface that's a rough texture. If you get one that's smooth, it's going to be easier to season. Generally, just cooking in a pan enough will eventually season the pan. And it's something that just has to build up. And with my carbon steel pan right now, I've had it for, I don't know, well over a year. And it's now totally dark. Very little sticks to it now. Most of the time, I don't wash it out with water. After I'm done, I take a paper towel and I completely wipe out the grease, and any little bit of something that might be stuck in the bottom usually comes right off. And if it doesn't, if I have some food stuck on there, I use a chain mail. I don't know if you've ever seen those, a chain mail scrubber. And lightly, because I don't want to take the seasoning off, lightly knock that stuff down. And then if I really want to chain mail the whole inside of the pan, then I'll re-season it after I use, if I make it wet, I'll dry it, and then I'll give it one coat of grapeseed oil. The maintenance on those things is next to nothing. Most of the time you don't even have to wash them out. I cook mostly steaks in butter in my carbon steel pan, and I'm not worried about getting all or any or all of the butter residue out of the pan. I just wipe out as much as I can and leave it sit. Won't hurt anything, won't go bad. Or bacon grease too. You could leave bacon grease set out for months. It's not gonna go bad. But that's how I season. There's 1,000 videos on YouTube about how to season pans. Some people tell you to season them in the oven. Some people tell you to get them screaming hot. Some people. The method I found that works best and is the easiest is just heat it up, put a little grapeseed oil in it, spread it around, wipe it around, wait for it to start smoking, shut the heat off, let it cool, do it again a couple times. Seems to work great. Hope that answered your question. Question, kind of a tangent, bought my first cast iron skillet, got that. That was that one. Question, how much do you make when we use your Amazon kitchen supply link to buy things? Amazon, it's a floating scale. It's usually a couple percent, 3, 4, maybe. I have no idea how they figure that. It adds up a little bit. It helps. It helps. If I was a family man working to support, there's no way I could support a family or even myself doing this. And I do have other income. I have the business where I do website development. I do graphics. I do some pretty big websites. I don't talk about this stuff with you guys, but my daughter, I work with her in her public relations company, and we have some pretty big clients, and I design and maintain their websites, and I do a lot of computer graphics work for them too, in signs and flyers and mailers and brochures, and we deal mostly with utility companies in the area of water and water management and water utility companies. It's not 8-hour-a-day work. It's work that I do when I want to do it, because I don't want to clock in and work a job, and I get paid by the hour for that kind of work. So I fit that in, and then I have my Social Security. So between all of that, I manage to pay my bills. And the Amazon stuff helps out a little bit, but it also helps, I think it helps you guys. If it didn't help you guys, I wouldn't want you to do it. But everything that I have on there is stuff that I bought and paid for with my own money, and there are things that aren't on there that I bought and paid for that I said, this is a piece of crap. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. So call me like the Consumer Reports of carnivore kitchen gadgets. And I haven't had too many complaints of people saying, Mitch, you recommended this thing and it was a piece of crap. No, I don't want to do that. I would actually feel bad about that. I think if you bought something really expensive from Amazon on my links, and I don't know if you know this or not. A lot of people don't know it, and I don't. Some people actually tell people to do this. I don't tell anybody to do it. But did you know? Do you know? And it's happened to me once that I know of so far. You decide that you want to buy something you saw me use from my Amazon link, and it costs $11 or $6. Okay. So you go in and you click on my link, and Amazon knows that basically I'm the salesman, or I referred you to that. And you click on that link. And while you're sitting there in front of your computer screen with Amazon open in the window, looking at the thing that you're buying, that you got there by my link, and your better half says, honey, are you on Amazon? Yeah. Don't forget, we need to buy that new refrigerator, or a new car, or a new cell phone, or $6,000 worth of furniture, or something ridiculously expensive. And you don't exit Amazon, but from my link, you go up to the Amazon search bar and type ridiculously expensive thing I'm going to buy, and you buy it. They pay me a commission on that too. Is that nuts? Is that nuts? Now, we're not supposed to tell you, hey, listen, you want to help me out anytime you go on Amazon, just go in initially through one of my links. They'll pay me for everything you buy. I think they frown on that. But it does happen, and they do pay it, and it's their idea, not mine. So one day I'm looking through the list. I get a particularly larger, I look at the thing in the morning from Amazon. How much did well, you made $6 yesterday, you made $4, you made $8. And one day I looked, I made $100 and something. I said, holy cow, how the hell did I make $100 from Amazon yesterday? Somebody bought like a $1,600 cell phone after they had gone on to Amazon through one of my links to buy something. Now, that doesn't happen every day, but it shocked the hell out of me. I said, wow, this is neat. And I had forgotten that it worked that way. So that's how Amazon pays me. I hope that answers your question. But all these little things, the $10 here, the $15 here, the super 10, all that stuff adds up to where it actually does pay for some bills. So I'll tell you one thing I did. I did my taxes for last year. I bought some cameras to do the YouTube thing, so new cameras. Bought 3 new cameras and some other things. And when I did my taxes, I spent more. I lost money on YouTube, basically, is what I'm saying. I ended up not paying any taxes on any of the money that I made on YouTube because the few expenses I had in computer equipment and cameras and things like that, because you do it as a independently owned small business, I actually spent more than I made. But I had a good time. And it's building up. It is. If it wasn't worthwhile doing, if it was costing me my entire Social Security check just to support my YouTube efforts, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Question, hey Mitch, what brand of coffee do you like? I end up, like most people, using one of these K-Cup Keurig things. I could be a purist. I could be, have one of these $10,000 fancy Italian espresso machines with the tubes and pipes and chrome and everything. But I like to be able to switch up different coffees and try different coffees. So the K-Cups are great. Most of the time, I buy the cheapest stuff they're selling. at either Sam's or Costco, the house blends. I pay $26 for 100 K-cups of the Sam's Club house blend. But they had a sale when I went in there last week on the Green Mountain breakfast blend or something like that, and it was the same price for 100 K-cups. It was like 10 or 15 bucks off. So I bought them. I like the McDonald. What's the name of that? It's a McDonald's labeled thing, and it costs about 40 bucks for 100 K-cups, and that's the decaf that I use, because I will drink 2 cups of caffeinated coffee in the morning, but that's it. So if I have, and I had 2 cups of caffeinated coffee this morning, and my 3rd cup for the day was this cup of decaf that I had here this evening. Excuse me while I drink a little water here. Well, I hate to jinx it, but my stream hasn't crashed. It will now. I'm a friend of Curry Mann's and going to be eating meat with him and a bunch of carnivores. Oh, that's great. You know, Curry and I were, I did that one live stream with him. Went great. We got along great, too. We were almost like brothers, but we haven't been in contact since. He's a busy guy. Say hello from Mitch, will you? Say hello. I would appreciate that. Question, how much do you make? Okay, we've already been there. Let's get back there. Let's get down. McCafe, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's what they call it, McCafe. Yeah, that's not bad coffee. It's not bad. Try some no caffeine green tea. I'm not a green. Oh, you're telling Ann to try the green tea. Yeah, I'm not a green tea fan. Death Wish K-Cups are pretty good, and they are organic. Death Wish. I bought an Ozeri stone-coated pan. It's easy. Yeah, I have those. I have the Ozeri, and if they happen to be out of the Ozeri, I got that's what I use, the ceramic stone-coated ones. They're white inside, or they have them different colors. But the Mueller ceramic coat, it's German, although it says German all over it, and the name is Mueller, and then when you get the pan in the box, it says made in China, under a license from Mueller. So Mueller's the company in Germany, but they're like everything else, they're manufacturing their stuff in China. Death Wish is kind of expensive. The Mueller pans are truly, and you know what? They cost 30 bucks. That's it, 30 bucks. And I get a new one every year just because I want to get it, because it discolors a little. It's still fine. The coatings are not poisonous. Although, God, do I get heat about that from some people. It's amazing how much heat I get about minutia things that really don't matter from people who are risking their life daily doing stupid things and worry about something that may take 5 minutes off your life 120 years down the road. Yeah, those Mueller pans are great. They're great for bacon and eggs. That's what I use mine for mainly. So we're now talking about K-cups, Mueller. It's on my link in the description. It's on my Amazon links. That list of Amazon links that I have, I think is pretty handy. I tried to keep it up to date. Occasionally the what's happening here? There it is. I'm going to pull it up here. Occasionally, one of the links goes dead or something, but this is like T-shirts and merchandise, supplements, food and pantry staples, kitchen and small appliances, T-shirts that I wear, the cameras that I use, and the exercise equipment. So most of this stuff will be like kitchen small appliances. And there's some of the new, the WeVac vacuum sealers. There's my Sous-vide stuff. Scale, another vacuum sealer, bags, knife sharpener. Here's that stainless steel chainmail pot scrubber I was talking about. This is the frying pan right here. This Mueller 12-inch German stone coating. And this is the Ozeri. I had a 12-inch Ozeri. I still have it. I don't throw these away, but they get a little discolored. But they ran out of the 12-inch, and the only one they have is the 10. One of the handiest things I have, well, these are great things. The meter, digital thermometer, this infrared thermometer, you can just aim it into the bottom of a pan and tell how hot it is. And my bacon grease saver thing. And these are some of the appliances and things that I use. I got a little portable gas grill here, which is great when you have a power failure. So all that stuff is on here with pictures of it. If you've never been to this page, and it just takes you right to the Amazon page, and these are the things to mix the electrolytes that I mix. It's handy, and people use it, and I appreciate that. Because it doesn't cost you anything. If something you want to buy, you're going to pay that much for it anyway. Yeah, Viking says he's ordered a lot of people have ordered things, and I just always try to thank you guys for using those links. It's a kind of a win-win situation. Walmart sells Death Wish coffee. Cool. Well, what time is it? Well, we've been at this for, it says here, 1 hour and 46 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. Andrew H., I'm exhausted. Mitch and company. People are fading out. I got news for you. So am I. So am I. Nurse on the run. Oh, Michael Pregler's here. How you doing, Michael? Supposed to say, I didn't see you. Like I say, I wish I could pay more attention to the chat. I'm just looking this over to see if there's some questions that I missed. Cast iron, searing. Yeah, Sue W. says she wouldn't pay YouTube a dime. Well, you know what? They own the stadium. If you want to play the game and you want to play in their stadium, you don't have to. Nobody forces you to. But somebody's got to pay the bills to keep this platform up and running. I don't mind a little bit of it. And I guess if you feel strongly about that, then you're not going to give me any super chats. Just because you don't want Google to get a percentage of it. Me, it doesn't bother me. I think I honestly, even though you can't escape the censoring, you can't escape any of that stuff. The world is the way the world is. We all have a choice. We can play or we can hide. When you play, you have to play by their rules if you're playing in their house. And is everything perfect? No. But here I am. I'm sitting here in Florida in front of a computer with a camera on me, a microphone in front of me, and I'm having conversations, even though they're coming through chats, with people all over the world. And there's no other way I could be doing that. If I want to use Zoom, I would have to pay an enormous amount of money every month for the band, for enough windows in there to talk to this many people. And you all have to log in to talk to me. This is, and there are alternatives to it. I know there's Rumble and everything. I put a ton of stuff up on Rumble. There are no viewers. For political stuff, Rumble is good. Guys like Steven Crowder and Glenn Beck and those people. That's fine for them because the audience is there. It's a backup for carnivores. If YouTube should go away, I'll be on Rumble, but I don't know how long I'll last on Rumble because the viewer base isn't there. YouTube has billions of people in this world that know about it and are searching it every day. And that's a potential audience for me that money can't buy. So no, I don't begrudge them a percentage. They in essence are a partner, even if they misbehave sometimes and maybe a little woke now and then. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night here. I think I've said everything that I need to say. I don't see any more questions. Next week I will be getting results from my first lab. Oh, okay. And you're talking to each other. That's great. I enjoy it. The pre-ground wants to guide you guys. Question, Mitch. What distance do you walk in the morning? Maggie May. I walk 3-4 days a week, usually 2 to 3 miles, and that's about it. I have, for a year, I hit it hard and really tried to get myself in shape, but I'm old. I mean, and I can't work out like a 30-year-old anymore, so I do more mild workouts now. I do them at home instead of going to the gym. I was hurting my shoulder, and I have one of my feet, if I walk too much, will hurt. I think I broke a toe and never had it fixed at one point in my life. So I find walking 2 or 3 miles 3-4 times a week is fine, and I walk briskly. Every other morning or so, I go into my little home gym in the other room, and I do a 20 to 30-minute workout. I'm not trying to become some, beach body anymore. I'm trying to stay fit and thin and just feel good without causing myself any injuries. And that's something as you get older you have to watch out for. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the same thing. So I'm feeling great. I couldn't be doing any better. There's nobody around me my age that's anywhere near the shape I'm in. I'm in better shape than most people 20 and 30 years younger than me that I know. Went to the bank today and talking to this teller behind the counter and little girl back there, and he was telling me about something he was watching on YouTube, and I said to him, "You should be watching me on YouTube." He didn't know they didn't know I had a channel, so we'll see. That's about as much as I want to try to convert anybody to carnivore out in the world anymore. It's just not worth the amount of work. That's for damn sure. So we're going to call it a night, I think. I'm going to have one more swig of my San Pellegrino. I've still got 100 of you in here. I appreciate the support from you guys. I appreciate the audience and the kind words. I think I've chased away all the bad people, so hopefully we won't see too many more of them in the comments. The number of negative comments, even after that rant I did on Monday morning, I would say just about 100% of the people who did comment were like, way to go, Mitch. And that made my day. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. But I don't want to get the reputation as of a bitter, one of these get off my lawn kind of guys. I'm still a positive person. I can comment on how disgusting I think some of this stuff going on is, and I know you'll agree with it. I'll still try not to get too political because they say stay away from religion and politics, and I really try, but I am very opinionated on both of those subjects. I think it'd get me in more trouble than it would actually do anybody any good. That's something personal that people have to figure out for themselves. We all tend to gravitate and want to listen to the people that we agree with, or that, why would we want to listen to people that we don't agree with? That just makes us angry. It's like the reason I don't watch vegan doctor channels. I'm not interested in anything they have to say. We want to watch people that say things that we believe, and it makes us feel right, and it, reinforces our own, makes us think we're doing the right thing, and that's the way we are. We want to hear what we want to hear, not have things that we don't want to hear forced down our throats. So I'm not out trying to convert vegans or anything like that. I may cut back. I've said this before. I've been doing a video a day for months and months and months, and it is a grind. There may be a day now and then, not a regular thing, where you won't see me post anything. Maybe on the days that I have a live stream at night. If you don't see me for a day, I'm not gone. I didn't go anywhere. I just have a life too. Sometimes I don't have 4 hours, 5 hours to devote to making a video about something. And some days I'm just not inspired on a particular subject, and I'd rather make no video than a silly one or a bad one. Let me get a little travel and music. As you can probably hear in my voice, I'm starting to get tired. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 4 to 5 every morning. Travel and music. So, for all of you that are still here, we don't need to convert any vegans. They do that voluntarily. Well, they're either that or they're going to end up in nursing homes. We don't need to convert vegans. Oh, love the music. Yeah, that's my little blues. It's called Raining in My Heart. I have no idea who's playing it. All I know is that it's royalty-free, copyright-free, public domain stuff. So nobody can say that I was playing their or stole their music and they demand a copyright strike on me. Something you got to watch out for on YouTube. Scooby says, you guys will inspire me. Donna says, good night. Good night to you. And with that, you know what's coming. Everybody, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.